Are you a storyteller? If you're a human, then you are by definition a storyteller. Because the moment you open your mouth, you are telling a story. Okay, now, do you know, animals are also communicators. Did you see what I just did? I said animals are great communicators, or animals are also communicators, but I said that humans are storytellers. Why did I do that? Because animals communicate, and they communicate in a very particular way. They communicate in an exclusively embodied way, meaning they communicate with their movement, with their vocal sounds, with chemical signals, colors. That's how they communicate. Now, you might say, humans communicate a bit like that too. You know, we choose our colors, etc., etc. But let's be clear about this. That form of communication, that embodied form of communication, has become secondary. Our primary way of communication is through storytelling, through language, through storytelling, all of which happen through our cognitive faculty, all of which happen through our intellect. By the development of the prefrontal cortex, we have become storytellers through the symbolic language and through abstract thinking. And what does that do? When we use our cognitive faculty, when we use our abstract thinking, when we use our intellect, we, by default, will filter information so that we will subjectively and selectively choose which bits of the information we want to tell, to communicate, which ones we want to stress, which ones we want to play down, which bits of the story we want to keep out, to not tell at all, and which ones we want to keep telling over and over and over again. And that's how our information, raw information, the clear information, the kind of information that animals are able to communicate clearly, our information becomes muddied because of our ability to filter, to organize, to sequence, to select, to decide what to keep, what to lose, etc., etc., what to give high priority to, and so on and so forth. I've just repeated myself, haven't I? But it might be worth having to do... Let me stop. It might be worth doing that. Rightio. Okay. So how exactly and with what do we actually muddy our stories? Good question, right? I think it's a really important question. We muddy our stories with our judgments, our prejudices, our biases, our sense of self-identity, our sense of self-worthiness or worth, our sense of agency. We muddy the information with all of that. And that is then packaged in this story, which we then communicate with the world. We muddy it. Our stories are muddy because they contain our biases, our prejudices. They contain our personal history and our interpretations of events in our life. They are muddied with our demands and expectations and ultimatums that we give ourselves and other people. Right? This is how our stories get muddied, so that, for example, two people can experience a thunderstorm, but they will never tell the same story about that thunderstorm in exactly the same way, because they have got their own personal packaging. So here's the thing. What stories, or what particular story and variations of it are you telling? And if you're telling the same story, can you realistically expect to have a different reality? Because you see, your story captures who you think you are. Your story captures how you show up. It dictates how you show up in the world. It dictates how you make decisions. It dictates how you move in the world, and and the direction that you go in the world. Your stories create your reality. So you can't keep telling the same story and expect to have a different reality, a different life. If you want a different life, if you want a radically different life, or even a slightly different life, I don't know why I would go for slightly, I'm going for radically different. Not because my current life is bad, but hey, why not? There's the possibility of even more, much, much more to enjoy and to appreciate and to get excited about and be curious about. So much more. And so why would I bother with small, minuscule change? No, I'm going for the big one. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm just saying that because I want you to seriously consider that you could realistically and radically change your reality by changing the story that you don't just tell, but that you express, that you embody. That becomes your way of life. And you don't have to wait 10 years or 10 months or 10 weeks or even 10 days. You can start that transformation right now. Okay, I'm going to be offering a one-on-one mentoring program that is specifically tailored to your particular issue, problem, goal, story. And I'm offering it to 5 people that I want to work with one-on-one, because that is how I love to work when we're doing this kind of deep, transformational body awareness and regulated, embodied work that is informed, that is guided by philosophy. And I've mentioned this before, a particular branch of philosophy called phenomenology, which is the actual study, if you like, of lived experience, not abstract thinking, but lived experience. I'm offering that to 5 people starting in April. If you are interested in doing this kind of one-on-one intensive transformational depth work with me, tailored to your specific needs and goals, then get in touch and get in touch soon, by the 30th of March, because that's when we move from a special fee to the normal fee. Okay, I've said enough. I don't think I've said it in exactly the way I wanted to, but doesn't matter. The main thing is, I hope I've communicated something to you that is meaningful, and I hope that you feel drawn to take me up on my offer of this one-to-one mentoring program. Okay, get in touch if you want more information. Until then, wherever you are, have an amazingly beautiful day and live a beautiful, enchanting, charming, wonderful story. Bye for now.